Now, we've all heard the saying, thrills and spills. On the extreme end of that is the trials.
Those guys are absolutely crazy. They defy gravity. When they don't, they put on a spectacular show. It goes to show how well these vehicles are built around safety when these guys can just roll them over and stick them back on their wheels and head off to the next stage.
I think they actually smile bigger when they make a bit of a blue and end up on their lid.
I think so. These guys live for it. They're adrenaline junkies to the maximum. High-powered V8s down to 4 cylinders, whatever else you have in between is always a good time. But today, we're in the Force 4 workshop. What are we doing today, Paul?
Well, if you follow us on Facebook, you would have seen the beginnings of this bar. Now, it's not finished. That's going to be a winch bar, but we need to put a winch in it for it to be so.
This is true. So we've broken into Force 4 this morning, and Phil's left us a winch on the floor. So we're going to stick a new Nova Winch 11,800 pound 12-volt winch in Paul's truck. And while he's doing that, I'm going to bring the D40 Navara in here, and I'm going to pull the plastic fantastic front bumper off it, and we're going to stick an X-Rox bar on it.
You need to cut that bumper.
I'm not looking forward to that. And Jeremy, if you're watching, I'm sorry that I have to cut through your vinyl wrap. It looks stunning.
Hopefully you can maybe fix his boo-boo as well, because I dare say he's going to make it a bit wonky.
It's quite possible, but I have all faith in Big Brown. They do a magic job at fixing our mistakes when we peel things off accidentally. So enough of us, because we've got a whole lot to do here. So you guys check out the 4x4 Trials action and we'll be right with you. If you're looking for mud flying, limiter bashing action, then look no further than the NZ 4x4 Trials. These guys defy gravity and push these little buggies to the limit, which makes for some pretty good entertainment. The NZ 4x4 Trial Series is made up of one-day events hosted by NZ 4 Drive Association affiliated clubs around the country. The series is held between October and April when the weather is fine and attracts thousands of spectators, team supporters and competitors.
Okay, so this is the winch that obviously we're putting in my truck. The way that we're going to orientate it, we need to change the gearbox so the clutch will then be accessible from the top so you can pull it into free spool. Now all I need to do that is there's some cap screws around here, one I prepared earlier with the Para TV. So we can simply go around, loosen all these off. That one's really tight. Let's put some more power into it.
To be eligible to enter the 4x4 Trial Series, you must be a member of an affiliated four-wheel drive club, hold a current driver's license and a competition license. There is a broad range of classes you could choose to enter if you were to compete in the NZ 4x4 Trial Series, right from very basic stock standard vehicles with stock engines right up to the top guys that choose to run mostly LS based platforms with huge amount of modifications to get the results they need to come in first. They call that NZ1 when they are the champion. There is a huge difference between stock standard and the top guys running their modified vehicles. But there's also the midway guys. Now some of these guys run a 3S GTE engine out of a Toyota, or they'll run an SR20 DET out of a Nissan. What they do is they encourage new people into the sport, and they also encourage the top guys to stay competitive. They will defy gravity, they will bang on their limiter, and together with their co-driver, they will try and get themselves through some of the craziest obstacles you've ever seen without using a winch. Each one-day event has an overall winner and class winners. Their points all add up to make the national results for the different zones across the country and overall placings at the end of the season. Well, as you can see, I've got all the bits out of the box now, and it's like one of those puzzles and typical mail, we don't want to look at the instructions. So if the bar comes out upside down, I do apologise. Now, Paul is over there under his truck installing the Superior Engineering drop boxes. Now, he was running the caster correction bushes, but he's opted to go for the drop box, which does the same job essentially, but the drop boxes tend to drive a little bit nicer on the road. So Paul's doing that while I do this. He's just put a lick of paint on his bar. So it's all go around here at the moment. And once we get these together, then we can show you guys the differences between the Pro 11800 Nova winch and the 12,500 Pro Nova winch, which we will be putting on the Navara. So I'm gonna get to work and figure out where these 100 odd bolts have to go. Off-Road Addiction TV is proud to be representing some of the leading brands in the industry. Please make sure you support the guys that support us.
Now I've rolled around the floor, got absolutely filthy while having a bit of a giggle at Caleb trying to put that bull bar together. But I've managed to achieve my new drop boxes. Superior Engineering drop boxes from Force 4. They sandwich between the cross member and the chassis. So it actually brings my gearbox down a little bit, which will help with the driveline angles now that the vehicle's been lifted. But mainly to help with the caster angle. Now, I did have offset bushes in here to help with the caster. With the lifted vehicle, obviously it rotates your diff with your arms, so it can make it quite nervous on the road. This brings it all back down to a normal plane so that it drives straight and doesn't want the tram line. But paired with these new sway bar links, which are disconnect, so therefore the sway bars aren't going to hold everything up there. It's going to allow it all to drop out so I can get a little bit more articulation. But they're a lot beefier, as you can see. So nice and strong, nice and shiny. So very happy with that.
The event is made up of a minimum of 30 short obstacles or hazards. Blue pegs mark the start and finish of the obstacle, and the boundaries are indicated by red pegs on the right and yellow pegs on the left. Now, these competitors do not know fear. It is not in their dictionary, they do not study it, and they have absolutely no idea what the word means. These guys get out there, defy gravity, try not to stick themselves upside down on their lids, but man, they put on a good show every single time.
I'm Ryan Huckstep, this is my co-driver Hendrik Hofstee. We're here at Pataru today at the third round of the National 4x4 Trials, and it's been an awesome day. Nice and dry, not too much mud, don't like mud. Quite technical, well peaked hazards, really technical, which is good.
It's been a challenge on some of the hazards. We've had a few breakages during the day, which we've obviously had to overcome, fix, etc. Come back on track. But yeah, it's what it's all about.
So now it's my turn, and I don't know how great I feel about having to cut 70% of the bumper off. As much as I hate plastic and I love replacing it with steel, I'm not the best at cutting things straight. So Paul won't do it, so I'm stuck with doing it. So what we have to do is you have to mark down 50 mil or 2 inches from the grill, and then you have to get a straight line with your masking tape and cut to the masking tape.
So,
Are you sure?
the man is up.
I think you should just do it.
I think we should just do it. I think
because it's easier for me to ring Jeremy and say, hey, big brown team, Paul wrecked the rab, you know?
Oh, I've already been threatened that I'm going to be replaced, so send in your CVs because this might go pear-shaped.
I think I'm just going to man up and do it. So bear with us. If you don't see any more of us on the rest of the episode, you know it's because I've cut the wrong way and something's fallen off. So.
Or if anybody has a good STX bumper, we will
let us know.
Alright, no, let's just do it.
Let's do it. So we cut the bumper we just dove on into it and got it done. Didn't come out too bad, but we haven't taken it off yet, so there could be some wonky cuts in there. But what I've got to do is, I've got this light bar mounted under here, nice and sleeper, so I've got to take this light bar out so we can get to these screws under here and a couple of bolts under here. Once we do that, the front's going to fall off and then we're going to be good to go. And so I'll get this off and you guys just relax over there and check out some more of this footage from the Waikato 4x4 trials. Generally, competitors start each hazard with 100 points, depending on who is running the event and what kind of obstacles they have set. As they move through each set of red and yellow pegs, points are taken off. The hub of the leading wheel must pass the peg to get the points taken off, or it goes back to the previous set of pegs. Now, getting through the end blue pegs gives them a score of 0. To achieve the best placing on the day, it is the team with the lowest score. The driver and co-driver will attempt to negotiate their vehicle through each hazard as far as they can. They must not flatten, straddle, or run over any boundary pegs on a graded hazard. However, if they are on a non-graded hazard, they can, but each peg squashed will cost them 20 points.
Yeah, we've been together 4 years since we've had this truck pretty much. Caliper truck, LS1 powered, Nissan diffs, ARB lockers, Mickey Thompson tyres. We bent steering arm initially, then fixed that, come back, broke an axle on the next hazard, fixed that, and just after lunch here we smashed the rear steering right off. I've got to thank Shane from Mud Mods, man, he's done a magic job of welding that up this afternoon.
It's been a real challenge getting all that sort of stuff sorted out and getting everything back on track. Just keeping that mindset going again for carrying on. It's very easy to have a breakage like that with a bigger breakdown, and you know, from there on in, the day turns into custard. But yeah, we hung in there, had a really good morning and had a pretty good afternoon as well. So
we'll just have to wait and see how we've gone.
Yeah,
it should be up there somewhere.
So it's finally time to see if my cutting skills are up to scratch. What we need to do now is cut the last little bits of the bumper to reveal my handiwork. Once that's done, we will put a rubber push lock seal over the edge of the remaining bumper to stop you cutting yourself and to keep it looking nice and tidy. And then we're going to attach the mounts to the chassis so that we're all ready to put up the X-Rocks bar and bolt it together. Off-Road Addiction TV is proud to be representing some of the leading brands in the industry. Please make sure you support the guys that support us. We've finished assembly of the X-Rocks bar. It's looking good. We've got the winch mounted and it's ready to bolt on the truck. So for the Navara, we've gone for the 12,500 pound Nova winch, and it's running a 7.1 horsepower motor, and it has dual ratchet brakes which have no drag on the free spool. And I have to say, the free spool on this is one of the nicest free spools I've ever seen in a low mount winch. Now, it has a slightly bigger drum for better cable management, and it's gonna help for when you're winching off to the side. It gives you that little bit extra room when it all bunches up like this. Now, Paul's gone for the 11,800 in his patrol, and he's gonna tell you why, so we'll let him tell you about his one.
Now, the winch that I have chosen, it has got a better ratio for the heavier vehicles. It'll stay on song longer on the big, heavy pulls. As for a lighter, higher geared winch, will run out of guts.
Yep, you're dead right. Now, basically, most 12,500 pound winches you would think as slower. Generally, the bigger they are, the slower they are. But this one has a gear reduction in it, and that is going to create a fast and strong winch, which is going to be perfectly matched for the sort of weight that the Navara is. Should we get this thing on the truck, eh?
Well, it's no good here.
Well, it looks
Probably
good.
need wires. Wires, I mean cables.
I was going to Bluetooth it. Wireless.
All right, just slap it on.
They told me about this wireless winching thing.
Okay, now you've got to pay attention here because this gets really technical. Red to red, yellow to yellow, and for all those that are playing along at home, blue to blue. Now there's an earth on the back side here, which you still get to very easily, and obviously the power comes from the solenoid pack there. That's it. Now obviously put some nuts on these because otherwise that'll soon jiggle loose, and like we said, we'll get it on the truck.
How's it going? I'm Sylvan, this is Jason. We drive the truck 255D for the Extreme 4x4 round in New Zealand. Daddy's truck. It's Daddy's truck apparently. This is our second season, it's our second round, so we've done 7 rounds now. Truck's going good, always fixing things that break. No, it's fun, good sport to be in. I used to watch my parents do it when I was a kid. They'd drag me around the country and I'd think it was cool as and go watch them. And then after a while they gave up, and so I commandeered their vehicle, and now it's what I'm doing.
Drag me along.
Yeah, get the mates into it, and it's good fun. It was a pretty average morning with a follow-up of an average afternoon. Truck was playing funny on us at one point. It wouldn't start, and we still don't know why. I figured that out, but not too bad. Didn't break anything, didn't roll, finished the day. It's always good. But points are probably pretty up there, pretty bad. The truck was built back in 2006 by my dad and his mate. They built the same truck together at Dan Cowper's, down at Cowper Trucks. He's put a Holden supercharged V6 in it. It's running a Ford C4 Auto, standard 80 series cruiser front and rear diffs with modified air rams to engage and disengage the lockers. It's got 4 individual brakes, steerers for the wheels, and pretty much it's Jason's job to pull on those and turn the truck and get it where it should go.
Try.
I just close my eyes and push the pedal down.
Drivers must have the ability to assess each hazard and negotiate the vehicle through in the best and safest possible way. Co-drivers assist by operating the wheel brakes and diff locks. Some vehicles have 2 levers in front of the co-driver, some have 4. They are the individual wheel brakes, or fiddle brakes, cutting in brakes. Depending where you're from, they're going to have a different name. What the co-driver does is they have to pull each wheel lever to lock each individual wheel to spin the vehicle around at a certain point. They have to know how long to hold the lever for before they let it go and their driver gasses it. Sometimes things don't always go to plan and they just have to hold on for the ride. This is always a spectacular show from the outside, but being in the vehicle, safety is number one. This is why they have their roll cages scrutineered and up to standard. They run harnesses, they run neck restraint devices, and they run helmets, because you can never be too careful when it comes to safety. These guys like to defy gravity and push the limits of these vehicles, but when it goes wrong, we like to see them at the bottom of the hill, all smiles, ready to go for the next hazard.
Well, why am I sweeping up again?
Because it's the only work you've done all day.
Oh, mate, my truck's just been parked down the back there, you know, while you'll get all the glory with your new bar, new lights.
New lights, mate, new
Every
winch.
time we come in here, mate, Phil's just hooking us up. Force 4, and only got good gear going out the door. Speaking of going out the door, I'm cutting a gap. It's late, it's dark. We need these lights. And
install them.
yeah, you guys just come back next time and see some more sweet footage.
Yeah, the Mint 400 is coming up next.
Yeah. Oh, I'm excited for it.
I'm excited to watch it back again. I want to go back. That was a sick trip.
Well, the sooner we sweep this place up, the sooner we can. So you guys get out of here and we're doing the same.
We'll catch you guys on the next one. check us out on social media, where we post daily pictures and videos to keep you entertained until your next off-road addiction fix. And we're installing a new Nova Winch 118,000 into...
11800?
No, it's a next model. It's a 118,000 pound winch, so
It's
it's going
special
to go
edition.
in the boot.
Hi Mum, look what I've done.
Or whether they just hit in a mud bog with the pedal dropped to the place where it rests after you put all the weight on it. We should get beer, Shay.
They're white. Yeah, I don't know what this is for, but it's got a whole heap of black stuff in it.
Please hold, caller.
So while we're doing that,
We're going to eat Phil's biltong.
we're going to eat Phil's biltong. It's actually really good. These, gone. All right. So.
Streets back, all right.
Dun, 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 dun.